All right, I realized that with the last video, number 7, I was running out of time. I can only post videos that are shorter in length. So I went ahead, I will demonstrate the interrupted weave once again on this, but I did want to show you that I have done 4 rows here. I did start the first row on an over spoke at the bottom so that it's consistent over here and over here. And just as a quick reminder, I have overlapped at this point, so I'm going to turn the basket 1/4 turn. I'm going to find the right side and the wrong side, which again, sometimes is difficult. This is the right side. And we always start on a spoke that we previously went under. Let me show you that. This one had under on the previous row, so I'm going to start over. I'm going to clip it. Move this up so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just following the over, under all the way around my basket. You will notice as I'm going that now I have that gentle turn in. The basket's no longer flaring out. It's beginning to turn in a little bit, which is exactly what I wanted because we told the spokes that's what we want. We want to turn in now. We don't want to keep flaring out. And because we did that, we can just basically weave around the spokes and not have to fight the basket to try to get it to shape in the way we want it. I am next to the one I started on. I'm going to go over it. Let's see and see. Okay, this is where I started. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 so that I can hide it behind this 4th spoke. I'm going to cut it so that it's hidden behind so it doesn't stick out, but it's not too short. And then I'll just follow this, go over the one I started with, hide it behind that one, go over this one and hide it behind the 4th. And then it doesn't show at all. And now I can kind of show you that, see how that shape is now starting to come back in, which is what we want. It's not flaring out anymore. It has the shape that we were looking for. The last thing I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to get my materials ready before I start, I'll just pause for a minute, is we're going to do 2 rows of twining at the very top, and then we will do the rim and our pretty braided rim. So we're almost there. You almost have a basket finished at this point. Let me just pause and I will be back with the twining for the top. Okay, for the twining, I want you to find 2 natural, number 2 round, and find the longest pieces you can. We'd like to be able to do this twining at the top without having to replace anything. It only has to go around twice, so they don't have to be ultra long, but I do want you to use the longest ones that you have in hopes of not having to replace. So all I'm going to do is put one of these behind one spoke. It doesn't matter where you start, and one behind the next, but extend it over so that I can hold it here, so I can hold both of these in the back. And then I'm going to go over one and out the next, over one, behind the next and out. And now I'll clip it so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Over one, behind the next and out. And you can see that my twining is in 2 consecutive spaces. It's just like we did with the color, except now we're going around the top with the natural. And we'll go all the way around twice. You'll have 2 rows at the top and end it the same way we did before, so that we're not starting a new row. We're just ending these behind spokes so that we have an equal number of rows all the way around the basket. All right, I'm going to stop it again and then I will show you the next step. Okay, what you're seeing is that I have completed 2 rows of twining all the way around the basket and ended it behind the starting point. And now the other thing I did was I just dipped these spokes in my warm water and really soaked them well, because what we're going to do next is called cut and tuck. It's not cut and run, it's called cut and tuck. And we literally are going to bend these down. Let me show you where you can see it. We're going to bend this down to the inside. You see, I just bended that stake right down, and we're going to tuck it under the flat 1/4 inch flat on the inside. But I don't want this big long, put this, sorry, I don't want it this long. I only want it long enough to reach that first flat on the inside. So I'm going to kind of cut it in a point. I want to be careful not to cut it too short. Let me show you. Okay, so I have a little point here, and I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you on the inside, but I'm literally picking up that 1/4 inch flat, and I am tucking the steak. Let me see if I can see it. Yeah, there you can see it a little bit better. I've tucked it into the flat, bent it down and tucked it in, and we're going to do that all the way around the basket. Just be careful that you don't cut it too short. And I do that, let me put it around here. I do that point because it makes it a little easier to tuck in if you have a point on it like this, not just flat across. Now I'm going to reach to the inside and tuck it right under those flat reeds and push it down so that now I have 2 that I have cut and tucked. I'm ready for the third, same thing. Bend it down, make sure you don't cut it off too short. Make your point, and then just tuck it to the inside under the flat reed. This one is, this nice thing about this basket is the spokes are far enough apart that you can do this cutting and tucking pretty easily. Sometimes it's more of a challenge to do that, but I'm going to go all the way around. Where I ended the twining, I want to make sure, that's an important point, where I'm going to go to the inside and really make sure that I'm tucking those ends under this reed that I'm bending down. Just cut that one, and just to show you, this is where I have a raw edge, so I'm going to tuck it over on the inside under the flat. And if you feel like you have it too bulky, you can actually trim up these round reeds a little bit. If there's a bunch of them under your steak that you're going to tuck to the inside, you can cut some of them off just so it's not such a huge bundle there. And sometimes the steaks will actually crack at the top, and don't worry about that so much. There we go, 2 more. But anyway, I'm going to go all the way around doing this. I'm going to stop this video one more time, and I'll show you when I'm finished. And then we are going to do our beautiful, beautiful braided rim to finish it up. Okay, I'm just showing you that I have finished cutting and tucking all the way around the basket. I tucked them in, these spokes, I really tried to tuck them in as tightly as possible. So now you see all your basic basket. We're just going to be using these twining loops up here at the top to create the braided rim. So that'll be shown in the next video. I believe that's video number 9. All right, there we go.